red, white, and blue for the popsicle. And then for the stick, I'm going to use tan. And I used a 4mm crochet hook. And you're also going to need a yarn needle, some stuffing. I'm just going to use some scrap yarns and a pair of scissors. I'm going to begin by starting off with my red. And we are going to start with a chain of 6. Once you chained 6, you're going to go into the second chain from the hook and make 2 single crochets. Hi, Large Family Homestead. Then you're going to put 1 single crochet in the next 3 chains. And then in your very last chain, you're going to make 3 single crochets. Yes, this is very exciting, my first live stream. And then we are, instead of chaining 1 and turning our work, you're just going to turn it over so that you can see the underside of your chain. And you're going to put 1 single crochet in the next 4. And at the end of the row, I am going to slip stitch to my first stitch. You don't have to slip stitch to your first stitch. You could just put a stitch marker there and then just continue your row off of that. But I'm just going to join my rows together. Then you are going to chain 1 and put a single crochet in your first stitch. Then 2 single crochets into your next stitch. Then over the next 3 stitches, you're just going to put 1 single crochet into each of those. Then in the next stitch, so far we have a single crochet, 2 single crochets in the same stitch, 1 single crochet in the next 3, and now we're going to put 2 single crochets in our next stitch. And then in our next stitch, you're just going to put 1 single crochet, and then 2 in our next stitch. How long does it usually take for you to finish one of those? The popsicle normally takes me about 10 to 15 minutes, depending on how focused I am on the project. Okay, so in your next 3, you're going to put 1 single crochet in each. You crochet too? How fun. All right, and in your last stitch, you're going to put 2 single crochets. Your cousin crochets? Yeah, there's a lot more people crocheting these days. And then I'm just gonna slip stitch to my last stitch, and that will finish off round 2. What's your name? My name is Bailey. Then you're just gonna chain 1 to begin round 3. I wish I can crochet, but I don't know where to buy it. I don't understand the question, I'm sorry. Do you not know where to buy stuff to crochet or to buy crocheted items? All right, to start round 3, you're just gonna single crochet in your very first stitch. And then in your next stitch, you're gonna make 2 single crochets. And then you're gonna make 1 single crochet in the next 5. And then after you have 5 single crochets, you're going to put 2 in your next stitch. And then 1 in your next, and then 2 in the stitch after that. And then 1 single crochet in the next 5. It's important to check your stitch count throughout to make sure you have the right amount of stitches, because you'll either end up with too many or too little if you're not keeping track. So if I ever pause for a minute, it's probably because I am just checking the number of stitches I have. And then after your 5, you're going to put 2 single crochets in your last stitch. And then you are going to slip stitch to your first stitch. And we are going to do 1 more round in the red, but you can do whatever colors you want for your popsicle. I just chose to do mine in the red, white, and blue, but whatever colors you want to use. So I'm just going to do round 4, which is a very simple row. You're just going to put 1 single crochet in every stitch. And you should have 20 stitches at the end of this round. Yes, it is very summer-like. A keychain's a good idea. Yeah, that's a very good idea. As you're coming up to the end of this round, you should go back over and check to make sure that you have 20 stitches before moving on to your next round. All right, and then slip stitch to your first single crochet. And instead of chaining one, this time you're going to take your scissors, cut off the red yarn if you are changing your colors, and add the white. I'm just going to take my white yarn and just yarn over like I would if I would be chaining, and just put it on my hook. And then I can just weave in the ends later, or just put them in the project because no one's going to see the inside of your popsicle. All right, for round 5, you're just going to continue the same thing you've been doing. 1 single crochet in every single stitch all the way around. And we are going to continue that same pattern with the white for 4 rounds. So just continue making 1 single crochet in each stitch for 4 rounds. This is really a beginner-friendly project because all you're doing is making single crochets and slip stitches. So if you want to make a project that looks like it's very professional but a very easy one, this is definitely the way to go. And while you're doing each round, you should definitely be checking that you have those 20 stitches so that your project doesn't look odd when it's finished. And then you are going to slip stitch to your first stitch, and you're going to do 3 more rounds exactly like this, so just 1 single crochet in each stitch. These ones might be too heavy for earrings because it's in a worsted weight yarn. If you wanted to make earrings out of these, you would probably want to use some sort of thread to make them lighter and smaller. These are pretty big. And the single crocheting in 1 stitch on this popsicle is the part that takes the longest. So this part, because you're just making 1 single crochet in each stitch, can seem to take forever. Crocheting definitely requires a lot of skill, but once you do learn it, it is very rewarding. All right, at the end of the round, slip stitch to your first stitch, chain 1, and start your 3rd round in the white. And patience, yes, and patience. Crocheting definitely does take a lot of time. But it is a really nice hobby to have, just to, like, when you're not doing anything and you know how to crochet, it's fun just to be able to pick up your yarn and hook and just start making something. Do your hands ever hurt? Yes, a lot. It's not good to make your hands hurt. You should, if your hands start hurting, you should take a break from crocheting for a little bit and then come back to it. So if your hands do start hurting, definitely take a break. Like if you're practicing like a new crocheting technique or something, you could wear your hands out a lot faster, or if you're using a cotton yarn, I heard that can be pretty straining on your hands and wrists. All right, now you're just going to slip stitch to your first stitch and begin your last round in the white. Chain one single crochet in each stitch. My favorite part with this project is when you get to change the color after 4 rows. It's like starting a new project because you're using a different color. I am working on a lot of different projects. I usually have about 4 to 5 projects going at once. So right now I am working on a granny square sweater I think I showed on my channel a couple weeks ago. A few other things too, like I've been knitting a shirt, and then there's a couple long-term projects I've been working on, like a chevron knitted blanket that's been sitting forever. All right, now we are going to change our color to our blue. So you can just cut your white yarn off and add your blue yarn, just yarn over with it and chain 1. Oh, I forgot to mention, at the last color change, if you wanted to, you could have crocheted over your tails while you were working up your popsicle. I just usually just stuff them down in, and I've never had a problem with my ends popping out, but it's different for all types of crocheters. I mean, it's about your preference. So now we are just going to make 1 single crochet in every single stitch all the way around, so you should keep your stitch count of 20 stitches. And we are going to continue working 1 single crochet in each stitch with the blue for 4 rows, or rounds, I'm sorry, they're rounds. For 4 more rounds of just 1 single crochet in each stitch. For some reason, this yarn is not agreeing with my crochet hook, so bear with me. It's very splitty. Now you're going to slip stitch to your first stitch, chain one, and begin your second round with the blue. What's my favorite color? I would have to say gray or like grayish blues. What's your favorite color? We'll definitely have to think up more fun live crocheting ideas. So if you guys have any more live crochet alongs you guys want to see from me, just let me know and I will make a list and start working on them. All right, I just slip stitched to my first stitch. We're going to chain one and begin doing the same thing. We're just going to put one single crochet in each stitch. What are good summer crochet projects? Definitely little like plushies and stuff. I wouldn't work on blankets in the middle of summer. I don't usually work on blankets in the middle of summer. But little things like bags, coasters, wash rags. Where is a good place to find free patterns? I use mostly YouTube. I know like places like even on Hobby Lobby's website they have free patterns. Lionbrand.com has free patterns. But I use YouTube as my main resource for free patterns. Sorry this is taking so long, everyone. The single crochet rows, for some reason today, are not working up quite as fast as I thought they would. And now we are going to slip stitch to our first stitch, chain 1, and begin our final single crochet round. And then we are going to start decreasing for the bottom. So just 1 single crochet in each stitch. We are coming up to the end here of our final single crochet round. We are still going to be working in the blue yarn, but we are going to start decreasing for the bottom of our popsicle. All right, we are going to slip stitch to our first stitch and chain 1. And here's what your popsicle should look like so far. I did accidentally carry the red through my white yarn, but you can fix that later. All you have to do is pull the tails from the inside. Let me just look at my pattern. All right, we are going to make a single crochet in the first stitch. And now we are going to start decreasing. So if you don't know how to decrease, all you're going to do is insert into the first stitch, yarn over and pull through, insert into the next stitch and yarn over and pull through. Oh, I forgot to mention we are going to be working all of this in the back loop. So just look at your project and flip it upright and you can see the 2 loops. So now we're just going to make a decrease. So go into the stitch, yarn over and pull up a loop. Next stitch, yarn over, pull up a loop. And then you should have 3 loops on your hook and you're just going to yarn over and pull through all 3. Now you're going to make a single crochet. This is all worked into the back loop, this whole round. And then you are going to decrease over the next 2 stitches. Then you are going to make 1 single crochet in the next 5. Hi. After you complete your 5 single crochets, you are going to make a decrease. So a single crochet 2 together, then make a single crochet in your next stitch, and then a single crochet 2 together, And then I'm just going to single crochet into my last 3. Slip stitch to your first stitch and chain 1. Oh no, it's coming to an end. I'm afraid so. It is almost done, but we do need to make the popsicle stick after we finish decreasing. So now would be a great time to stuff your popsicle. And like I said at the beginning of this video, I'm just going to use some yarn scraps. They work really well for me. I know some people don't like using yarn scraps in their projects. I've never had a problem, and it always turns out really well for me. You also don't want to stuff this project too full, so you still want it so it can squish in a little bit. All right, we're going to move on to our last round. And this round is worked into both loops instead of the back loops. So you're just going to go around and you're going to single crochet decrease all the way around. Stuffing with yarn scraps is definitely a good idea. It is a money-saving idea as well, because then you don't have to go out and buy filling for your crochet projects, because I always have had yarn scraps. All right, I'm coming up to my last decrease. You are going to need your yarn needle for this next part, because we are going to sew up the rest of the bottom of our popsicle. So slip stitch to your first stitch, cut your yarn, leaving a pretty nice long tail. Then you're just going to fasten off, and you are going to just sew up the bottom of your popsicle. So I'm just going to go around the bottom here and just sew it along. And you sort of want the bottom coming in, so if you just want to use your finger and push it in, and then take your yarn needle and go all the way up through, that helps pull the bottom in, because you're going to need that spot to put your popsicle stick. The great thing about crochet plushies and stuff like that is you really don't have to weave in too many ends, and weaving in ends on projects is my least favorite part. And for some reason, it takes longer sometimes than actually crocheting the project itself. All right, now we're just going to cut the rest of the blue off if you have any left on there. And we are going to begin working on our stick. you are going to need to know how to do a magic circle for this part. So just grab your tan. I think a brown would also look pretty nice. So make a magic circle. And we are just going to chain 1. And we are going to make 6 single crochets into our magic circle. The magic circles are very hard, so if you want to do the chaining method where you chain 2 and crochet into the second chain, you can also do that. There is no right or wrong way to do this. The ends are so time consuming. Yes, they really are. If I could just like find someone and hire them to just sit and weave in all my ends on my projects, that would be awesome. Like I said, 6 single crochets in your magic circle. All right, we're gonna pull our ring tight and slip stitch to our first stitch. And the popsicle stick is actually the easiest part of this popsicle. You're just going to make 2 more rounds of 1 single crochet in each stitch all the way around. And then we're just gonna sew it to our project after we finish up those 2 rounds. So just 1 single crochet in each of your 6 stitches. All right, I just finished 1 single crochet in each of those 6 stitches. You're gonna slip stitch to your first stitch, chain 1 and begin your last round. 1 single crochet in each stitch. I just finished my last stitch. Now we are going to slip stitch to our first stitch. And we are going to cut our yarn and fasten off, but make sure you leave a nice long tail so that we can sew it onto our popsicle. I'm just going to put that on my yarn needle and sew it onto the bottom where I said to push it in a little bit so that you would have that little place to put your popsicle stick. So we're just going to line it up towards the middle, and we are just going to sew that stick on until it is fastened enough so that it's not loose or wobbly, because if it is loose or wobbly, it's more likely to come off. So just keep going until it doesn't move around anymore. I'm just going to go around and pick up each of the stitches on it and just sew down each of those. All right, I think that's good. And then you can just cut your yarn. And then you will have to weave in these ends now or later on. And that is our finished popsicle. I hope you guys enjoyed my very first live stream. And if you guys enjoyed this video, please be sure to like this live stream. And that tells me that you want to see more videos just like this one. I'll see y'all next time.